Hey everyone, welcome to a SingularityComputers playthrough of Black Mesa. This is another new segment I'm going to be adding to the channel, gameplay. I'm going to be doing playthroughs. And I'm actually reintroducing gameplay to my channel because it's something I used to do a lot of back when I started my channel. So for most of you this is going to be something new and different on my channel, but for those of you who have been subscribed for a long time, you'll see that I'm kind of more and more going back to what I was doing when I started my channel. But before I get into why I'm doing this and why this game in particular, I better introduce this game. Black Mesa is, I guess you could call it a remake of the original Half-Life, but it's far more than that because it's Half-Life in the Source engine, and it has been completely rebuilt from the ground up. All of the levels, I mean the levels are, some of them must be 10 times the size of what they were in the original Half-Life. So, you know, added detail, the sound has all been redone, the voice acting, absolutely everything. But you can tell that the people who made this have so much love and respect for the original game that all of the story and the feel is still perfectly there. They haven't reinvented the wheel at all. They haven't taken any part of it and thought we can do this better. They know that the original was perfect and incredible, and so all they've done is updated the experience. Even though they completely rebuilt it, none of the original has been lost. And whether you've played the original Half-Life or not, and by the way, if you haven't, what is wrong with you? You're crazy. You know, it's an incredible experience playing this game, because for me, I absolutely love the original Half-Life. It is still my favorite game of all time, and I've played it probably over 100 times. And playing Black Mesa was like a whole new experience, but at the same time, the nostalgia, the story's all still there. It was just absolutely awesome experiencing it in an up-to-date engine. And I mean, if you could call the Source engine up to date, it is 10 years old now, but it's had a lot of work on it since it was released. You know, we've had Team Fortress 2, Left 4 Dead 2, we've had a lot of releases that have meant this engine has been constantly updated, but it's also held up very well against everything that has been released since this engine was released, because, I mean, everything Valve does is always ahead of its time. It's always incredible. And there's just something about the graphics of the Source engine, the way it was done, that even though it's minimalist, and even though it doesn't have a lot of the features that we have now, it still has a really realistic look. So playing this game, even though it is on an older engine, it doesn't feel outdated. And I mean, compared to the original, this is light years. It's a huge step up. But for anyone who hasn't played the original Half-Life, well, now you get to experience it in an updated engine, so you have absolutely no excuse not to play it. And seriously, this is a game you cannot miss out on. It's hard for me to explain why this is my favorite game, and I'll give it a go. It's mostly about, for me, the feeling that it creates, the emotion. It just creates this incredible feeling. It's something surrounding the depth of the storyline, this multi-layered storyline, but I think it goes back to the impact that it had on me when I first played it, because there had never been anything like it. It was the first truly storyline driven first-person shooter, but you know, still with the elements of having levels getting more and more difficult as it goes. I just love everything about it. The way it steps up, starting with the crowbar and then the pistol and the MP5 and the shotgun, and it gets more and more difficult, more and more enemies are added. The story gets more and more complex, but there's none of these ridiculous twists that we just see slapped on the end of games now. You know, this story was well thought, completely thought out before the original was even made. And I mean, with G-Man, and I love the inclusion of all of the physics stuff, and you know, the the fact that it's in a secret underground facility, Black Mesa, and I mean the size of this facility is just insane. That's part of what creates the emotion for me, the mystery, the secrecy, the experiments, this underground facility. And you know, then at the end, I mean, going out into what I call the alien worlds, the Zen levels, and fighting a boss in an alien world somewhere. I mean, I absolutely love that. Nothing like that has been included in a game since. It's the sort of thing like Doom 3 where you actually go to hell. I mean, what a cool idea. You know, it's like that. And when I first played Half-Life, it was just mind-blowing and unexpected to go out to another universe, an alien world, and battle this giant boss. And actually the Zen levels are not included in Black Mesa yet. They are definitely going to do the Zen levels at some point, the alien world. And I don't know if they'll include it as an update for Black Mesa or new content, but Black Mesa was actually released as a free mod at first, and I grabbed it and played it straight away, but it's actually now on Steam. So you can pick up Black Mesa on Steam, and they are constantly working on this game. Every time I play it, there's little updates, you know, graphics improvements, more details added to the levels, you know, the spawns have been worked on. It's just really cool to see that this is an ongoing project. A huge amount of love has been put into this. You know, you can just tell that the people who made this are total Half-Life nerds. So, you know, this is definitely my favorite game. I just cannot get away from Half-Life. I absolutely love it. So now that I've introduced you to this game, I'll talk about all of the different reasons why I'm introducing gameplay or reintroducing it onto my channel. Where to start? There's a lot of different reasons. You know, when I started my channel, as I said, I was doing a lot of gameplay, and to reach 100,000 subscribers, it's taken me 10 times longer than it took me to reach 50,000. The growth has really slowed down. And so really what I should be doing is going back to what I was doing when my channel was growing faster, when it was more successful. And that was gameplay, reviews, and the occasional personal build. But not only was it more successful, I could do so much more content, because these builds that I'm doing now, the time and the effort that goes into them, I don't think anybody realizes how much time I put in. I work 12 to 16 hours every day. I never take time off. I work 7 days a week. I love what I do. You know, I'm passionate about it. It's the only way I could survive working those long hours. But I want to make more videos. I want to make more content, and that's what this is about. And I want to have variety. You know, another reason I'm doing it is because I know it will bring new viewers to the channel, and that's something we all want. I mean, if you want to see this channel improve, then it needs to grow. And so this is another way of growing the channel, by bringing new subscribers. And I know at first probably not many people will watch these videos, and I could have started obviously with any game, but Black Mesa, because I've always wanted to do a Half-Life playthrough ever since I started my channel, because it's my favorite game. But I never did, because I thought it was too old, that no one would really want to see it. You know, that was back in the old days when I was doing gameplay. But since then, I just haven't had the time to do it.
Why do we all have to wear these ridiculous ties?
But since I shut down the workshop, I have brought SingularityComputers back to what it was, you know, in the earlier days of my channel. Something smaller, something more efficient, and something with only people involved who are passionate about this like I am. And that was really the problem with the workshop. You know, I had no choice but to employ people who just needed a job. They had the necessary skills, supposedly, but for them it was just about a job. It wasn't about a passion like it is for me. And, you know, that's really the mistake that I made. But you can't, I mean, people with a passion for this are few and far between, particularly in Australia. And, you know, now it's just me. My wife helps a lot. And also someone else who has been with me since the beginning of the channel. And he has a passion for this like I do, and he just does an incredible job. He's never asked for a single thing. And he didn't even want to be paid. When I took him on full time, I had to say, I'm not going to employ you full time unless you accept payment. I forced him to be paid. So, you know, that's what he's like. He's not doing it for the money. He's doing it because he loves it. And that's the only way something like this is going to be,
Gordon, there you are.
well, not successful, but, you know, I'm going to see the results that I want. The results that I would get doing it myself. So, and, you know, since I shut down the workshop, Singularity Computers I've had more freedom. It's been far more efficient. I've actually been able to get even more done than I was getting done with a whole lot more people, a team of 7. So I much prefer it this way. And my goal now is to go more and more back to what I was doing in the old days. But it's something you have to remember. You know, a lot of people see a little change on my channel and they freak out and they, you know, they start saying I'm unsubscribing because everything's changing. Well, it's not. This is extra bonus content. I'm still doing my usual content and just as much of it. Actually, I'm doing even more of it, far more of it than I was even just a few months ago. So you're getting more of the content you came for, the content that you love. This is just extra bonus content that I'm adding in between. So, you know, if you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. And as I said, I don't expect many people to watch in the beginning, but over time it will bring a new audience and, you know, help to grow the channel. What am I doing? I need to get down to the test chamber. So yeah, this is extra content that I'm going to be doing in between my usual content. And, you know, the great thing about gameplay is it's something that, I mean, I'm only human. I can only do so many build logs. I already work the longest possible hours I can, as hard as I can, as much as I can. There's nothing more I can do in the way of build logs. And I know you guys want to see more content, more videos. Well, this is something that I can do. You know, I can take 20, 30 minutes after work a couple of times a week at night to make a few gameplay videos. And I know some of you, at least some of you, are going to enjoy this. And but yeah, Black Mesa I'm definitely playing for myself because it's my favorite game. But you know, once I play through Black Mesa, I'm going to certainly move on to one of the latest games. I'm thinking about The Division. I don't know, something like that. A new game.
Let's let him in now.
The reason I included incoming, the tram ride in, and you know, all of this, the beginning of the game, is because I wanted to do a proper playthrough, a full playthrough of this game out of respect for it. And it's just, as I said, always something I've wanted to do since I started my channel. And I'm really happy to be doing it now, to have the opportunity to do it. And anyone who hasn't played this, well, hopefully this will inspire you to play it. So I guarantee you will enjoy it no matter what.
Anti-mass spectrometer to 80% and hold it there until the carrier arrives.
the ladders. They've always been weird and sticky.
Very good. We'll take it from here.
That's something else I love about Half-Life is the gameplay. It's not just a mindless shooter. I mean, there's so much more to it. We have this incredible, complex, multi-layered, cool story. Massive variety of enemies and weapons, and you know, the way you level up, you know, pick up the weapons along the way, and it gets more and more difficult.
Gordon, we cannot predict how long the system
But also
can
the
operate at this
little
level, nor how
mind
long the
games
reading
and
will take. Please work as quickly as
the
you
difficulty of the gameplay. You really have to think.
Capacitors to 105%.
And you see even more of that in, well, anyone who's played Blue Shift or Opposing Force, old games, but they include, you know, Half-Life backstory.
It's well within acceptable bounds.
Massive respect to anyone who's played those games. They're very cool. Anyone who likes Half-Life, even though they're really, really old, if you like Half-Life, it's something you've got to go play.
look to the delivery system for your specimen.
Has anyone played Sven Co-op? I'd love to hear it. You could actually play Half-Life levels in co-op in Sven Co-op.
It's not shutting down.
These clips where you teleport out at the beginning here, they're definitely going to become very important in the storyline later on. So I'm going to, the gameplay videos, there'll be 20 to 30 minutes, a couple a week. Sometimes I might do more if I have more time. Right now I'm playing on the only system that I have. I have always had an extreme system ever since I've been into this, you know. And, well, Singularity Beast 2, I might even upload a video about this. It'll be an old video. I was meaning to upload it a long time ago. What happened to Singularity Beast 2? I'm sure a lot of you will want to know. Well, basically the answer is it went to supporting the channel. And since then I've had a, well, it's actually getting a bit old now, the system that I have, and it's just a temporary slap together system, and it's the only one I have too. I don't have any test beds or anything at the moment, and that's just because I've had to put everything into the channel, and I also haven't had time for my own systems because I've been putting all my time into building other people's systems. But it's an MATX system in the Case Labs Mercury S5, a Rampage 4 MATX version, 4930K, GTX 980, Seasonic 1050 watt power supply, RAID 0, Samsung 840s, 16 gig of Corsair Dominator Platinum, and the CPU is water cooled but not the graphics card. And it does have custom cables. I'm using the Logitech G710 Plus, which I absolutely love. This is an awesome keyboard. And the Razer Taipan. I really like this little mouse. I've always preferred small, lightweight mice. And I'm using the Corsair SB2500 speakers. The monitor I'm using is the Asus, actually forgotten the name, complete mental blank, but it's the G-Sync 2560 by 1440. See if I can get through here without actually getting burned. Nope, always get burned. I usually speed play, you know, certainly through games that I've played before, so I hope you guys don't mind that, but it's going to take a lot of time, a lot of videos to get through this, because that's another awesome thing about Half-Life, the length of the game. I think the first time I played this, it took me months to get through it as a teenager. I can't remember how old I actually was, but you know, the first time you play it, just figuring it out, beating the monsters, because the original was a lot more difficult than it is now. You really had to conserve ammo, conserve health, strategize to get through it. And yeah, I remember the first time I played it, how long it took to get through it was insane. So that's another thing that really makes me love this game so much, is the length of it. Obviously, once you know it, you've played it a few times, you can play through it pretty fast, but still, even though this game doesn't include the final levels and the final boss fight, which is probably about 20% of the game, you'll see how long it actually is.
Go.
Alright, kill these zombies for me, buddy. Actually, I'm just going to run through. So, I don't have any weapon yet. I'll pick up the crowbar soon. Actually, if this guard dies, you can pick up his weapon. But he has to get surrounded and takes a bit for him to go down. That fire always damages you as well. You just can't avoid it.
This shit is something out of a sci-fi.
These zombies have really long reach, so you gotta watch out. Even the parts of the game that don't really matter, there's so much detail. Oh, that head crab can actually get out of there. Like this, you know, little bits and pieces added. Even though most people would, you know, probably miss this.
You want some more? Okay.
Lots of climbing through air vents. Got the crowbar. Sometimes that zombie dies, sometimes he doesn't. I've played this so much, I know where most of the spawns are. I've played through the original a lot more than I've played through this though. I just thought we'd watch this. And that's how you become a zombie, people. This door actually kills you if you stand in its way. Instant death. Grab some health. Okay, that's the end of part 1 of the Singularity Computers Black Mesa playthrough. I just wanted to give a massive thank you and shout out to Lionel Roberts, Ben Ye, Drew Smith, Max Lays, Simon James, Harrison Thomas, and Jeffrey Bishop, who have donated to the channel. Your donations have gone towards a new camera, which I'm sure most of you have noticed the massive increase in our video quality over the past few months. Well, I was saving up, and I have been for a while now, for the Panasonic GH4, and your donations have allowed us to upgrade to the Panasonic GH4. We also now have a macro lens and a camera cage. The next thing that I want to get is a slider, which will make a huge difference. We'll be able to increase our video quality to professional level. But anyway, that's it until part 2. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, and favorite if you want to see more.